Well, I don't accept anything because one goes, the other one comes. It always is the same for working class people.
If the Conservatives take over, then, you know, what's going to happen to the NHS and stuff like that? It's a bit of a situation that we're in, really, I think.
Why do you think that Gordon Brown is not going to win it this time?
Well, he's got a lot of, you know, it's all on the press, to be honest with you. I mean, when it comes to politics, you know, anyone can run a country, but it's the media that control people's views and things like that. And there's a lot of bad press surrounding him. You know, there's a few lobby groups and things like that that have got involved. And, yeah, I personally believe that he's not going to win it this time simply because he's made a pig's ear of it. I think what they should do is, you know, come up with some kind of foolproof plan for us to get out of the recession, because what I believe is that it's what's known as a dead cat bounce, where basically, you know, we think that we pulled ourselves out of recession, but it's actually going to get a lot worse. That's what I believe anyway. Sorry, because it's like a temporary fix that we've done at the moment with the interest rates and everything, yeah.
What party will you vote for?
I would vote for... Even though they're not going to win it, I actually agree with their policies a lot more. The Lib Dems, Liberal Democrats, I think they're a pretty good party to go for.
I mean, Labour had their chance. I mean, I voted for Labour the last couple of times. And we haven't really seen any big change. And then we've gone into this big recession that could have been really avoided. And, you know, they're just not giving what they said they would give and not providing what they said they would provide. And they're not keeping their end of the bargain, basically, so I think they had their shot and they failed.
So what party do you think you'll be voting for this time?
I don't know. I don't think it'll be Conservative. Someone independent. The whole setup is so out of touch with people like us today. There's more scandal in parliaments and politics at the moment.
I never vote, even though I'm a voter. So... well, this election, maybe I'm going to go for it, yeah.
What would you like to see politicians change?
They need to be, you know, more focused on the honesty, as well as, you know, the more close to the people. You know, I hardly see the people, and I've been in this area for 10 years. I never met with MP over here. They don't represent us, to be honest, you know. So what's going on in the whole country or among the world, sometimes I think they're just busy with their lives, to be honest. You know, they're just enjoying. I become an MP now, so you know, the next time I don't care. You know, that sort of mentality they're having. You know,
rubbish. It doesn't matter which party gets in; they're not going to do none of us any good.
Why do you think that?
Because they make a lot of promises and they always break them. They never come true.
So, have you voted for any parties in the past?
Well, I've been voting for Labour up until now. But I'm not going to vote this time. It's a waste of my vote.
But sure, there's another party that maybe appeals to you?
None of them. They're all saying the same thing. Every single one of them.
Do you know who you're voting for? Have you made up your mind?
I haven't. I would generally always, if you're asking me who am I actually going to vote for, I would generally vote for, well, in Ireland I would always vote for Sinn Féin. Here, probably Labour, but I doubt Labour this time, probably Liberal Democrats. Well, they're not going to get elected, but it's a protest vote if anything, or maybe perhaps one of the far left parties, because both the main political parties are pretty much virtually the same on their policies. I think in the past when people actually trusted Labour, they've seen that they're just as dirty, sleeked and as corrupt as we believe the Tory party were in the past. I think people voted for Tony Blair because they actually believed that he was going to make some changes. I think in the end of the day, everyone realised that he was nothing but a fake, taking this country into a war, which, I mean, anyone who looked at it impartially at the time, you know, with the headline of the Standard that a bomb was going to come from Iraq inside 40 minutes was pretty ridiculous to start off with. And that he actually sold that with his use of the papers to the people here, that there was WMDs when he knew all along they weren't there.
If you were to vote this year, who would you vote for?
I'm not sure. I would say I'm probably a Labour, but with all the scandals and everything, I'm not sure who I'm going to vote for yet. Definitely not Conservatives.
Why do you say that?
I just don't believe in their values, and I just find them to be sort of middle-class movement.
Well, I personally support Labour, given though given the current political climate at the moment and things going on in Afghanistan, and everyone's sort of thinking that Labour aren't going for the right way, David Cameron really, to me, just seems like he's sort of in there for the limelight. So I don't really listen to him just because of the way he sort of portrays himself on television.
What would you like to see change?
Personally, I'm quite involved with the military, so I would like to see a quick withdrawal from Afghanistan. But because of what I know, I don't see it happening anytime soon. So what I'd prefer to see is really more care going after our guys out in the war zones at the moment, better equipment and things like that. Apart from the war, things like climate change, I know that everyone's trying to get really proactive against it at the moment, but I think they can still be doing more, especially when it comes to relating with other countries. So I think they need to address the relations between countries when it comes to climate change.
And do you know who you're going to vote for?
I think this year maybe Conservatives. I think Labour's had a chance and they've not really done much, so I think we're just going to... I think more than likely Conservative. David Cameron's policies seem to be a bit more better than what the old Gordon Browns are.
The Tories, they're racist.
I think that most people have grown up in a Labour kind of dominated society. So even though, say for example, we have to vote, say it was an obligation, we will think Labour's good because we've been living by it so far and we're still alive. So Labour's the way to go. But I think people need to research it more to understand it more.
So do you think that Labour will get in again?
No. Hopefully, because I've been with this new thing that the Conservatives are doing with the nuclear family approach to life and reducing their taxes. I think that's a bit unfair because certain single-parent families, it's not their fault that they're in that situation, but they're still going to get higher tax than other families. And who are the Conservatives to say that the nuclear family is the correct type of family?
And you said just before that if we were made to vote, do you think that it should be illegal not to vote? Do you think there should be a law that you have to vote?
No, I think it's free will still.
Well, it's quite exciting because you don't really know who's going to do good for the nation, you know. So I've been voting Labour, and I guess I'll just continue to vote Labour because I can't see any other party having, I would say, sound policies. I mean, in the past I have voted for Conservatives. And I don't know, under good leadership, that's what you're looking for. If you have positive leadership that will enable their policies to benefit the nation, then that's all I care for, you know, and that's what I would vote for. But if you don't get that positive leadership, then you have many problems.
Do you think that we have positive leadership with Labour Party?
Well, Gordon Brown is there. I think he's okay, but he has to produce. I can't use words for him, you know. Unfortunately, we have to vote. I believe you must vote. Otherwise, the wrong people can get into power and you have a major disaster on your hands. So take it or leave it. If you get a negative party shooting all the crap and you don't vote, they'll get in because their voters will vote for them. And so we don't want that to happen. You must vote because you have a voice. And if you don't vote, what's the point of complaining? You are the youth. You're the ones who are going to take us forward. So forget the old heads. Get the youth in. This is my contention, basically. I'd like to see more youth and more multicultural people get into politics.
So if you were a young person today, would you stand?
Yes, I would definitely get into politics. Or form some organization where we can voice our opinions and get things done.